Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. It is another Friday. All the days seem to blend together for us, but it is Friday again. And today we're going to talk about email marketing and how to be relevant now. Now we're all in one place, email marketing seems to be even more important because it's how we can communicate. Good morning, David.
Good morning, everyone.
So most of you are pretty much used to this now after our, what has it been? March, April, May, June, July, 5-month lockdown almost, and we can go out a little bit. So if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A. If you want to chat, you can chat amongst yourself. David will be watching those, and we will try to give you some pointers on email marketing. So email marketing really hasn't changed. We've changed, and it's relevance that's important, and it's always been relevance that's important. How many of you in the beginning got a million emails about every company telling you about their COVID-19 policy? Show of hands, electronically. It seemed like everyone had to send me a COVID-19 email. So I think that some of them were important. I think I needed to know what some of those were. But I didn't need every company to tell me their policy because it didn't affect me. It wasn't relevant to me. So what we want to say and what our clients or potential clients are interested, where those two intersect is the relevance. And you have to remember that relevance drives everything we read because it's all about them. It's about me getting your email. It's about you getting my email. It's about what you want to see, what you have time to see. It has to be topical for them or they're not going to read it. So there are 188 million emails sent every minute across the internet, and that's a lot. So people keep saying email is dead because there's all the social media and there's the instant messaging and all of these things on the internet. But people are on those channels, but your direct one-to-one is email. It can make you, well, it can give you the opportunity to build that authentic connection with people who are there. And you need to remember that because when you get an email, this is what happens. You think now, later, or never. You look at that email, oh, I need to read it now. No, I'll read it later. Or you swipe right on your phone and it's gone forever. It goes right into the deleted pile. So when you're sending an email, and we'll talk about subject line and stuff later, you need to want them to read it now, or at least save it to look at it later because it's not urgent right now and they're busy, but they want to know what you have to say because your information is relevant to them. When I talked about the phone, everyone has their email on their phone. So you need to make sure that how it looks on that phone and that they can delete it on that phone and what's going on that phone are important. Emails are opened 53% on a mobile platform. You sit on your couch, you're sitting in an office waiting for something, or we used to sit in offices waiting for things. That's when we read our email to check up what's going on because we have a moment that we're not going to start anything new and we're going to look at those things. And if you personalize that email, it has a 14% higher than non-personalized emails to get a click-through rate. So those are very important numbers to remember. So what your emails really need to do is build relationships. It's a relationship you're connecting with them, you're engaging with them, you're giving them what they want. Because when they're ready to make a buying decision, all that information you shared and all that nurturing that you've done, they're going to think of you. So you have to think about what is a building relationship that I'm nurturing these leads to ultimately lead to a sale, and that they know who you are, your brand awareness, and what you're selling and what you can do for them. These things are important. This is what your email marketing should do. So we want to develop this relationship and we want to take it down a funnel. We want to make them aware of who we are. We want to engage with them. And ultimately, we want that conversion, because that's what everyone wants, that conversion at the end. But you need to make them aware of what you do, what your company is, what your brand is. Then you need to engage them with information, and then you need to convert them. So let's talk about awareness. It's the simplest form of what you do. This is what I do. The example here was that anyone who mentioned Starbucks know they do coffee. I don't drink coffee, but I know that that's what they do, and they also have tea. This awareness helps promote your brand business. It establishes you as a reputable business, and it helps customers differentiate you from your employees. So when you're thinking of an awareness email, you want to send something out that hits all of these notes. So you want to give them direct access, because we have direct access to them with this email. So now they're aware, you're making them aware of who you are. Customers prefer to get an email communication as opposed to text. I hate text sales. I absolutely hate them. I delete them all the time. I don't sign up for them. Yes, you get coupons and stuff, but my text is I want to communicate directly with my friends. So I don't like those. Emails I understand. So, and also people who get your emails give you permission to get your email. I think one of the hardest things as you're building your list is that you get a notification once a month or however often you ask for it on who's left your list. And you always want to go and read those names. But the fact is, for whatever reason, they have chosen to leave your list. And so they've self-selected to step off the pedestal. You want your list to be those people who want to be there, that you're providing the information to them that they want. So in our emails, we want to make sure that we have a template that's consistently branded and has the same voice. We want to pay attention to how we design them. If we send something different each time, they don't know who it's from. We want to be consistent when we send those emails. So if you're going to send them once a month, you do that. If you're going to send them once a week or once a quarter, you need to be consistent in your frequency and what the voice of that email is. So you should absolutely have your branded. Oh, this is an old picture. It has my old logo on it. I missed that when I was editing last night. Shame on me. This is the new logo down here in the right corner. So this would be confusing to people because I've rebranded and I have this picture as the old. Content should be all about them. It should be relevant to their needs and wants. It should be one subject to them for them to digest and a simple call to action. If you want them to do something, don't give them 12 choices because they'll get confused and they won't go on. There was a study a long time ago that Constant Contact did in terms of a florist sent out an A/B testing email. One was for Mother's Day to buy a bunch of tulips for their mom. The other one had 3 choices in the email. The email with just the tulips did 30% better than the email with the 3 different flowers, because now I either want to buy tulips or I don't for my mom. Or when I look at the other ones, I think, oh, there's tulips, oh, there's roses, oh, there's plants. Let me go look at everything. And so I go to the website and I start looking around. And now I've spent 10 or 15 minutes looking around because I love to shop. But now I have to go back to work and I leave without making a purchase. So make it easy for your customers if there's a call to action to make a purchase in there. Make the call to action easy. I either want to do it or I don't want to do it. It's very important because you're just helping them. So now we're going to move to engagement. So engagement is very important. A good subject line is key to getting your email opened. You have 2 seconds to get them. I read it. Do I want to or do I not want to? And then they swipe. So the content needs to be important to your customers. You know, read the headlines in the paper. And I'm not saying put a headline that doesn't mean anything to what you're selling or what you're talking about or what you're offering them, but something that gets them to wonder, whether it's a question, don't use a question mark, whether it's there's 2 facts or 2 things you're sharing with them, Give them a reason that it's easy to open and I want to understand what it is. And when I talked about writing headlines, the subject that's in the email should relate to the headline. Because all of us hate something when we click on it and it's not what you ask us to look at and what we wanted to look at. Content, content, content. We want to personalize our emails and we want to segment them to specific customers. I know we want to send everything to everyone, but when you start building your list, think about the different type of customers. And yes, it's easier for some clients to do it than others to segment their list. Clearly, if you're a sporting goods store, you have people who like skiing, you have people who like swimming, you have people who like racquetball. They can all be on the list for things they have looked at so that you can more easily customize an email specifically to them. Because you don't want to be sending in the middle of the summer an email to someone in the northern United States that's on your list that likes winter sports. They're just going to delete it. That's going to bring your statistics down, and it's also going to offend them in terms of not wanting to get information that's not relevant to them. And you have to think about it because you could have the argument that the people in the winter states would like to see some warm weather sporting goods because maybe they want to go on a vacation. Not that any of us can go on a vacation right now. So you want to think clearly when you start your list, because if you think I'll do the segmentation later, you get into it and you have 300 names, it's almost out of control at this point in order for you to put those segments in. And you can have basic segments, you can have more specific segments. You have to decide how far down you want your specific things to do. So let's say you're a travel agent and you're doing family vacations versus couple vacations. Two choices in this email. As people click on one of those two buttons, your email platform should segment it. So you'll have a list of all the people who looked at couples vacations to retarget them. And you'll have a list of all the people who looked at family vacations to target them. So in a way, they're self-selecting, but you need to know going in what those buckets are so that you can email to them, because it gets you a much better conversion rate in the end, and people are much happier about getting their emails. Again, it's content. It's what engages them. You need to offer them something that's interesting to them. Not always, this is what I do you want to buy? That's not what it is. I mean, clearly if you have a shopping site and you're selling shoes or earrings or whatever it is, you want to share new items with them. But I think you also want to share information. Video information, people love to watch videos. A downloadable white paper on, if you're a service company, what your services are or what they can do by themselves, a how to do DIY, because we all like to try things ourselves. The fact is you can do it better because you're a professional at what you do after they've tried to do it and realize that it's much harder than they think. So sharing that information is not giving away the store. You could offer a sweepstakes or a survey. The sweepstakes could just be something that's fun for people that they enter, and you give something away. Or you could do a survey to find out more information about your clientele. But remember, the survey should not be more than 5 or 7 questions. I should be able to do it in under 2 minutes. So, because you don't want them, all of you have taken a survey that says it'll take 5 minutes to take the survey and you're on question 10 and you're pretty sure you don't know where the end of it is. Tell them where the end of it is so they know where they're getting to, what they're doing, and they're going to finish it for you. So you want to engage them with information about you that promotes your business, that offers them information on how your service is good for their business and they can do it, and when they're ready, then they'll come back to you. So some basic information. Oh, again, used an old picture here. I apologize. Key action must be above the scroll. You should use their name in the email, whether it's in the first part of the email that says dear someone, or you're saying, Virginia, I'm blah, 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 and it's in the sentence. So it's personalized to me. You want to send in segments so that they know it's specifically for them. I don't want to get something that has no relevance to me. And there should be one call to action. So I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it. And we move to conversion. So we've made them aware of who we are. We've engaged them with free things like videos and stuff like that. But now, what is our conversion? And conversion is not always buy now. Some of the conversions happen back in engagement when you asked them to watch a video. Maybe you asked them to watch a video on a new product line you have. Maybe you ask them to watch a video on how to do something that has something relevant to do with your business, but is not a how to do something for you. There's a download of paper, which you exchange for an email address. The same thing with the sweepstakes, they have to exchange information, enter their email address. Same with the survey. So what is your goal? What is your conversion goal? And ultimately, it's a purchase. But not everyone's going to purchase every time you send an email. What you need to do is when they're really ready to make a purchase from your company, whether it's a service or a product, that they think of you and remember you, that you had good information, you were always there when they're ready to buy. So you need to go and make sure what your conversion is when you send out that email so that you can validate that conversion. So some of you who are older, I'm going to raise the lower the hands because I want to know how many people know who Zig Ziglar is. Said if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. This is one of my favorite. Yeah, I see. Yeah, Anna, you and I are of the age that we will remember. But the fact is if you just throw this big blanket out, you're not targeting anyone, and that's not what you want to do. So the biggest thing at this point is having a plan. How do you want to achieve your awareness, engagement, and conversion? And you need to make it measurable. So we need SMART goals. They need to be specific, they need to be measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So when you're putting your information out there, you need to be sure that you know what you want back from that email. If you send out an email and you want them to take a survey, how many are actually taking it? If you're putting out a sweepstakes and you have a sweet prize for them, are people interested in entering that sweepstakes for the reward? If they're not, maybe you didn't choose the right piece to put out. You need to be sure you can measure it and that you can attain it. And it has to be relevant to them. So if you're doing a sweepstakes or a survey, you want to give them 5 days to do it, or you want to do it in 24 hours. You want to give them how long it's out there. When you're planning your email marketing, you need to think about what you can attain and what they want. Do you want to send something once a week? And why do they want it once a week? So if you're going to send something once a month, what's going on in their lives? Why do they want it once a month? And if you're sending it once a quarter, are you just staying in touch to let them know you're out there? And everyone has a different model. There are people who email every day. So that's just a fact of life. Those are the ones we hate, and we hate getting multiple emails a day. So keep that in mind. Nothing is so urgent that I need 2 or 3 emails from you a day. Make your plan. You also have to understand what you can attain. If you decide to do it once a week, can you meet that mark and be consistent? Can I once a week get someone, myself or someone, to write the email that's going to go out? Can I sit down at the beginning of the month and write 4 emails to go down the track to make sure they go out on time? Because you're entering into a contract with them. You're letting them know when you're doing it. So then when you don't email, then they forget they're supposed to be getting it and forget they're supposed to be engaging with you. So make sure that A, it's relevant to them, and B, you can keep up with what you're doing. So once you've sent an email, you need to look at what happens with it. This is on one of my emails from Constant Contact. The deal is that I had a 21.2% open rate. and I had a 21.4% click-through rate, which is astronomical, but I'll take it. It shows you who opened it on a desktop and who opened it on mobile, and that will tell you a lot about your clients, probably age, business versus personal, those type of things. You need to send, you need to review your statistics, and then you need to repeat. And repeat means that next email. What did I do well? What did I do? What worked in this one? What didn't work in another one? You need to look at those, and you need to be sure that you're hitting the mark. So also one of the things that you get in your dashboard in any of the email marketing ones is that it shows you your open rate. It shows you it's down because that one was 21, so it went down. It shows you the industry average. So even though I'm down 4% overall, right? I'm 11% is the industry average, and I'm doing 19 and 21%. So I have nothing to complain about. I think we all look at, why don't 100% of the people open my email? And you need to step back from that and understand that not everyone's going to open it every time, unless you've targeted so specific and are so tuned into your clients that you get a higher rate. So keep in mind, anything over 15% is great. Anything in the 20s is fabulous. And look at that click-through rate as you're doing things. So what is your goal for email marketing? Is it to make sales on your boutique? Is it to stay in touch with your clients? Is it to show new products that you have? You need to have your goal and make sure it's measurable. So here are some average rates that we have. The average email open rate is 15 to 25%. The click-through rate is 2.5, and the average open is between 20 and 30%. So your goal is not just to get it open. Your goal is to have them do one of your calls to action. That's the big thing. If I get a 30% open rate and only get a click-through rate of 1% or 0%, then I'm not giving them what they want to click on, and I need to go back and look at that. So relevance now is the same as relevance before, but you need to be hyper vigilant in the fact that everyone is emailing now. How many of you get emails in terms of they start it with because then they want you to think you've already had a conversation with them, or they're just sending you, they'd love to set up a meeting, or we have a relationship, I want to know you. Those kind of emails are not the type of emails that I would do for my clients or my company. I am not doing cold calling through email addresses. I am maintaining a relationship through email addresses where I have met people and want to continue that relationship. You should never buy an email address list. You should never borrow someone's email address list. You need to have email addresses that you have met personally in some way through your business, and then develop that relationship with them. So what's relevant now is the same as what's relevant before. I think now, making sure they understand how you can be supportive to them in this time is great. What can I do to help your business that's not costing me or you anything? Providing that information, showing them what they can do. One of the things that has come out of this COVID for me is these Friday trainings that are half an hour and then 15 minutes of questions, if we have that many. Because it's an easy thing to do. You don't want to sit for an hour. You don't want to sit for an hour and a half. They're too long. A small bite that you can do one or two things is great. I've helped you take a fresh look at email marketing. You can go out now and think, how can I do this? If I'm going to do awareness, engagement, or conversion, what is my email going to be? How am I going to do it? And am I going to look at it next week and check to see if I hit my goal and move forward? So that was my quick relevance now. And now I would love to have some questions. Looks like, David, you answered a couple of them.
I did. One was, will we get copies of the slides? I told her that it will be available on the YouTube channel in a few days. And then I
Well,
explained the difference between an open rate and a click-through rate to Katie.
excellent. So while you type in, and I would love to have questions, the upcoming events for the next Fridays are putting analytics on your website, understanding those website analytics, Facebook analytics, and Google pay-per-click analytics. Again, a quick half-minute of information, some Q&A, so that we can help you, and you can move on with your day. All of my trainings are available on my YouTube channel. It usually takes till Monday for me to get it up there. And you can find any new events that you can sign up for on my education page at all times.